What is the price of status? What happens when the spotlight shifts and the world decides you are no longer the greatest? This is the digital age, where envy travels faster than truth, where comparison is currency and validation flickers in the form of likes. We live in a time defined by the platform, by the spotlight, and by the relentless, crushing pressure to perform. We chase algorithms that promise status, only to find ourselves trapped in the silent echo chamber of comparison. There was once a king named Saul. He was the prototype of the mighty, visible leader. He was tall, he was strong, and he was chosen for a crown. But Saul's power was external. His authority was a garment draped over a deep, hidden insecurity. And that insecurity? It bred a profound spiritual sickness. The scriptures call it a distressing spirit, but in our digital age we recognize it immediately. The noise, the relentless inner loop of, am I enough? Am I still relevant? Is the applause fading? This king, this mighty ruler, was crippled by a chaos that no army, no firewall, and no amount of worldly success could quiet. He was the most powerful man in the kingdom, yet he was tormented by his own metrics. Saul needed silence. He needed an antidote to the internal screaming. And the remedy did not come from a general, a politician, or a tech CEO. It came from a shepherd. Enter David. He wasn't tracking engagement metrics. He wasn't trending. He was just a young man, smelling of sheep and dust, armed only with a sling and a golden harp. His platform was the solitary hillside. His audience was the divine. David's currency wasn't power, it was presence. He walked into the king's court not looking for a job, but carrying a frequency. A disruptive frequency that cut through the king's chaos. When David lifted that harp, he wasn't performing for Saul. He was releasing the praise that was already established in his soul. And when the music hit the atmosphere, the distressing spirit, the noise, was silenced. But stillness is often temporary when it confronts insecurity. The king felt the peace, but then he saw the man who brought it. David succeeded. He conquered Goliath. He became a celebrity, and Saul could not handle the fame that didn't belong to him. When the women sang, "Saul has slain his thousands, and David his tens of thousands," the noise returned with a vengeance. Envy is the digital age spear. It's the corrosive resentment that strikes when someone else's organic favor outshines your manufactured status. Saul's spear was physical, launched in rage, but the modern spear is a keyboard. It's a jealous comment, a backhanded dismissal, a cold shoulder in the DMs. It is the spiritual poison launched when you let someone else's success define your failure. Twice, Saul tried to pin David to the wall. Twice, David stepped aside. Because David understood the fundamental physics of favor. You cannot be pinned by a power you don't recognize. Saul was fighting for a temporary throne. David was walking toward an appointed destiny. Saul lived by the noise. David lived by the song. Saul operated under the pressure of performance. David operated under the authority of his presence. The takeaway for us, standing in this digital crucible, is this. Don't mistake the king's noise for the word of God. Every time your feed screams jealousy, every time you feel the spear of comparison coming for your joy, remember Mary and remember David. Your destiny is not found in the spotlight you earn, but in the private worship you cultivate. Let the kings have their temporary platforms. You have the songs of destiny that quiet the distressing spirit and guarantee your throne. The spear must fall, the song will remain. So what will you choose? The spear of envy or the song of destiny? If this story spoke to your spirit, don't miss the rest of our journey. Subscribe to HeartCore Radiance and join us for this powerful 5-week cinematic series blending faith and the digital world.